It's the slowness, the forced patience, the having to tend to something you can't see, but believing that something beautiful is at work, even in the unseen. That's what I love about gardening. There's so much beauty and potential within the smallest seed. Plant several, and your potential exponentially grows. While I know many are preparing for summer, my heart is still reflecting on spring and the many lessons that can be learned in the garden. Like the soil. Any gardener knows that the soil is everything. You can do all the best steps to growing a garden, but if you don't start with good soil, then your time and efforts are kind of wasted. And I think that's true for people too. If our foundation isn't solid or our atmosphere isn't quality, then no matter what we do, we'll flounder because you can't flourish in an environment that isn't giving life. So as we get ready to transition into summer, I challenge you to take a moment to consider your foundation. Do you like where you're standing? Do you like the environment you're surrounded by? If not, maybe consider some steps that you can take to nurture these areas. Seeds are hopeful little creatures full of so much potential, just like us. They wait in their seed packet or drawer until just the right time for their planting. Then when it's time to fulfill their destiny, they're stuck into utter and complete darkness. Sometimes life feels that way, or our prayers feel that way. We just see the darkness surrounding us and aren't sure how to continue moving forward. But to stick with the seed analogy, if we were to keep pressing forward, confident in our purpose for the season of darkness, every day just pushing to grow just a little more than the day before, what would happen? Well, one day we'd see the light. We would one day be a sprout transformed from the seed into something new. I think God does that a lot in our stories. He helps us walk through something hard that we know we need to push through. And at the end of a hard season, we're able to see the purpose and beauty in that season. There's something new sprouting. But that's not the end of the story. There's watering and nurturing the seed both before it sprouts and after. They can't do this on their own. They either trust the weather or a human to take care of them. Sometimes we have to do this too, trusting God and other people to help nurture us through a hard season. With watering a seed, you can overwater or underwater, and the same is true for us. If we neglect an area of our life that needs pouring into, then it likely won't continue to grow. Or similarly, if we drown it in too much goodness, it'll get overwhelmed and not survive. Then we have the time of pruning. This one always hurts, both for the gardener and the seed. Why would you take out something good that has so much potential? Well, because if you don't, none of the plants flourish because they are crowding each other out. They will all get only a small percentage of the nutrients, but not enough for any of them to grow. Following this analogy for our life, there's a quote that says there can be too much of a good thing. So I think once again, let's look at our lives. Do we feel like we're in a season that's flourishing? Do we have a balance that feels life-giving in all areas of our life? Faith, relationships, rest, and rejuvenation? Or if you're like me, are there some areas that maybe need some pruning, even if it's of a good thing? Pruning isn't easy. It can even kind of momentarily hurt the environment or people around you who might not understand what you're doing. But you have to trust the process. You're doing this to let a few areas flourish instead of not letting any flourish. But what's even better is that's not the end of the story for this seed. Sure, she's a cute little sprout, continuing to grow and bask in the sunshine's warmth, fresh water, and maybe a few other sprout friends. But there's still more growth to be had, more hardships to be faced. But the end result? Blossoms, fruit, and seeds that will aid others in the journey continuing to grow. Again, I feel like this is true for our lives. It's easy to see a prayer answered and feel confident that that's the end of the story. But I've been learning a lot about how God has so much more planned than we could ever think to ask for or imagine. So I've been trying to challenge myself with asking boldly in prayers, believing my wildest dreams aren't just daydreams and musings, but actual gifts and talents and desires from the Lord that He placed within me, that He wants me to chase after. He wants to see the flourishing happening just like in these seeds. He created me and you for a purpose, and I believe it is a disservice if we don't follow through with that. I love how spring is a great reminder of growth, new beginnings, and starting fresh. It's a time to prune back what's dead and give life to things that are new. It's a time of hope, renewing your belief that things unseen are at work doing miracles. Like a seed, each season can differ. Sometimes we flourish more in one season over another. Sometimes we might be in a season of waiting instead of a season of blooming. Will there be hardships? Sure. Will there be obstacles and difficulties along the way? Of course. But like a seed who automatically trusts the Father's hand in her growth journey, I've tried challenging myself to lean more on Him in my growth journey, and I challenge you to do the same. There's a scripture in Luke that talks about this. Luke chapter 12, verses 27 and 28 says, "Consider the lilies and the wildflowers, how they grow in the open field. They neither labor nor spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his glory and splendor dressed himself like one of these. But if this is how God clothes the grass, which is in the field today and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, how much more will he clothe you, you of little faith? So I hope this can be an encouragement for you as we just embark on this upcoming season. I would love to hear a big takeaway that you maybe had. And if you like, I have a free printable for just kind of a prayer to pray in this season. I'm calling it just a prayer for the garden. And you can check that out down below. Thanks for watching.